After 3.5 years, the Australian V8 Superboats Championship presented by Penrite returns to Griffith's notorious Lake Wyandgan circuit for the penultimate round of the 2022 season, and with much to play for. A lot has changed since we were last in Griffith, notably the big increase in entries for LS Class, and as they have done since the start of the season almost 12 months ago, LS Class entrants deliver the biggest field, although despite the competitive nature of that field, you could expect a level of status quo in the results. Last time out at Temora in early December, reigning champion Bastian Mullen and younger brother Nate arrived at the circuit with a whole new boat package. Whilst for some they might need time to settle into a boat that handled differently, not so for the two sons of reigning World Unlimited champion Fonzie Mullen, and typically they hit the ground running, both of them making the podium for the first time this season, Bastian going on to claim his 5th consecutive win of the year. Neither though have competed at Griffith previously, although their 8-time Australian Championship winning father has a wealth of experience and data from the Mullen boys to draw on. However, they'll face 2019 champion Kyle Elphinston, who has raced at Griffith before. His weekend back then saw mixed results and he didn't finish on the podium, but experience at Griffith is valuable, many marking it as the toughest circuit in the country, so this could be Elphinston's best chance yet to claim a round win. It doesn't hurt that the boat he's campaigning has seen success at Griffith in the past, in the hands of Ben Hathaway. Sadly, we're without the Nude Nuts team of Matt and Mitch Malthouse. The South Australian team committed elsewhere this weekend and unable to make the journey across, although we will see the return of Jade Atchison and the Disturbed Racing team, whilst one of the category's most popular drivers, Mike Airtime Hessel, will join good mate Luke Walters in the Spartan entry, whilst he waits on his new boat to be completed. The two drivers expected to face a baptism of fire on the challenging layout. In 400 class, all eyes will be on Brendan Doyle, the 2022 series points leader returning to Griffith after a career-defining finish there in 2019. In just his maiden season, he came into the 2019 Griffith event to find he closed the gap to the championship points leaders and perhaps pushed just a little bit too far during the early qualifiers. The result was a big impact into the tyres at the bottom of the circuit, an impact which saw both he and wife Rory suffer injury. The boat too was damaged quite badly, prompting a decision which would impact their time in the sport.
Simply inexperience. We, I think that was about our 4th race ever, and I think before that we were driving pretty smart. We got to Griffith and all of a sudden, where we had in previous rounds this 6 or 7 gap to the likes of PK, and we get to Griffith and that gap's down to a 1.5 seconds. And I got pretty excited about that, and it's like, oh look, we're running with the boys now. At the same time, I was having a horrible time out there from the first run. Whether it's the water's different or the shape of the track, but the boat was doing things that I simply did not understand at all, and I was very confused. I didn't have the experience to realise that I should have been buttoning out. I sort of kept pushing because I was close to the mark, and yeah, it went horribly wrong.
At a crossroads, they ultimately decided to continue, employing the services of former champion Daniel James to repair the boat, in the process laying the foundations for the new Australian-made pulse hull, a hull which is fast becoming the new world standard, with both Doyle and Fonzie Mullen campaigning the product, whilst Hugh Gilchrist and Jody Ely have also purchased new hulls for the 2023 season. Whilst Ely is expected to use his prior experience at Griffith to apply pressure to Doyle, Doyle isn't phased and is drawing on what happened in 2019 to spur him on.
I'm not happy with my result there last time, and that's it's between me and the track, and I'm going back there to prove a point. And but when I say proving a point, it's not about winning or losing. I need to go back there and just have a solid performance. I don't like getting my arse handed to me like that, and the track certainly did that.
Coming into Griffith, the championship equation sees Doyle leading after 3 consecutive round wins. Ely, meanwhile, started the season with back-to-back victories at Cabarita, but has been chasing his tail ever since. A win for Ely at Griffith brings the pair to Keith's final in March in an all-out battle for the title. But should Doyle continue his winning streak, the title will be his, forcing Ely to be bridesmaid again. They won't be alone in their fight this weekend. Tremaine Duke's returning to the category and Greg Harriman's former Apache, the boat now owned by Hugh Gilchrist, who is also in the field this weekend in his new boat Matrix. The pair have past experience at Griffith, but as a former unlimited podium finisher, Dukes arguably has the experience to take the fight to the points leaders, Whether he will have the power and the boat to do it though will remain to be seen. And don't discount Danny Napick. Another rookie at Griffith, he lines up this weekend with a brand new Peter Cowie-built Sprintec hull he purchased from Jody Ely. Ely instead electing to follow the Pulse path, allowing the Toughen Up team to step up to the hull designed by New Zealand's multiple world champion, Peter Cowie.
You do have to give Griffith a little bit of respect. It's one of those ones that it will bite you. Just ask Doyley. It's one of those. There's been many a crash. Even, the old loose cannon, how good that boat was. Seen that up the bank, rolling backwards down the hill. Slade had a big crash at Griffith. Some of the top drivers in the world have been, victims to Griffith.
To look at the results of the 2022 Unlimited Superboat season, you could be forgiven for thinking it had been a one-horse race, when in fact, despite Fonzie Mullen's 5 consecutive finals wins, it's been a fairly tightly contested affair. The year started with Daryl Hutton losing his primary hull after loaning it to compatriot Chris Edmonds ahead of the finals. Edmonds inverting the boat in the channel at speed, forcing a complete engine rebuild and significant delays in returning the Phoenix Lubricants machine to the water. Enter Edmonds and his newly purchased Hazardous machine, the boat that saw Slade Stanley dominate the 2019 championship, including a big win at Griffith, and Hutton suddenly had the package to take the fight back to Mullen. Whilst he hasn't been able to defeat his long-time rival, Hutton has closed down Mullen's advantage over recent rounds and he is now comfortable in the package, Griffith representing perhaps his best chance all season to make a run at the top step of the podium. He knows only too well the nature of the Griffith circuit means nothing is certain.
This track's really, really bad for swells. It's dug with dead square sides. It's got a lot of water in it. This track probably holds twice as much water than other tracks, and so that moves as it doesn't just have waves that hit the banks and disperse. This track comes in with swells, and so as you're coming back, you see the difference in water levels like this as it's moving. And you got to keep driving it. Like, you can't get underneath that finish line on this one and go, woohoo, what time did I do on the clock? You got to keep driving it right around. Don't look at the clock now, have a look at it on the next lap kind of thing, This track will bite you. And it's bitten me bad twice. I had to swim home once. And another time we spent 200 hours fixing our boat after we'd been here man hours. So my favourite track, not this one.
Mullen is nothing though if not calculating, and on the verge of a record 8th Australian Unlimited crown. He knows that whilst he might lose the battle, the record books will remember that he won the war. And a solid result this weekend will seal that 9th Australian crown, a haul which started with his first win in 400 class all the way back in 2008. For Hutton, he will be doing his best to take the win, coming off a victory in the New Zealand Championship over the Christmas break. That result and his pace last time out at Temora making him a strong outright contender. The tight twisty rotation this weekend could also work in his favour, the Hazardous package holding the potential to be fastest, giving the Hutton team plenty of motivation to return to victory lane. But whilst he has his best chance in years to go after victory on Australian soil, he will face a challenge from boat owner and teammate Chris Edmonds. Edmonds for much of the year has campaigned a second boat, but this weekend, as he did at Temora last round, he will join Hutton in Hazardous as B driver. Last time out he surprised even himself with his pace to comfortably qualify for the final and finish just 6/10 in arrears of Hutton. Admitting though that he has trouble overcoming his desire to plant the right foot, Edmonds might need to temper that desire this weekend in an effort to ensure Hutton has the tools to take the fight to Mullen, but either way it will make for some very interesting viewing. Edmonds also forms part of a terrific battle for third in the championship. Experienced campaigner Glenn Roberts currently holds the position after weathering assaults from former champions Scott Krause and New Zealander Rob Colley. Colley has elected to sit this round out to focus on the New Zealand Championship, which continues the following weekend, whilst Krause suffered a big setback in round 4 at Temora after missing the Keith round. Roberts' consistency, which has seen him card 2 podium finishes this season, will keep him in the fight, but he'll face a resurgent Edmonds who claimed his own podium finish last time out. For Scott Krause, the former Griffith winner, returns to the venue with his own memories of an experience he'd rather not repeat, rolling into the channel during qualifying. Fortunately, he and James Parsons were able to get themselves out of the boat, but that incident also changed the way the Temora local goes racing. These days he has oxygen on board and a boat righting system mounted to his roll cage. Such is the impact of the Riverina venue. So for anyone in the Griffith region, head down to Lake Wyangan and enjoy a great afternoon and evening of racing. Unlike 2018, where we saw the event drawn to an early close in heavy rain, we're set for a stunning summer day with clear skies. Qualifying starts at 2:45pm with the finals kicking off after dinner around 7:30. And you can catch all the action on the V8 Superboats Facebook stream from around 4pm. And don't forget, you can watch all the previous rounds on demand on 7 Plus. Just search for V8 Superboats.